Hi, this is Unit 1, Common Uses 1.6, Presentation and Practice, and this is part 1. I've divided it into 2 parts. So let's look at the rules of when we use be, especially in academic writing. Of course, this is for grammar as well, um, but particularly in writing. Um, so let's take a look at the reasons it's used in some examples. Okay, so the verb be is used to define the subject or give more information about the subject. Okay, so let's take a look. The black mamba is the world's longest snake. We see here that the black mamba is actually a proper noun because it's a proper name of this snake. And then we say it's telling us more information. It is the world's largest snake. Okay. We also have another example here, again with the black mamba. The black mamba is not actually black in color. So here we see we have a positive example, and here we see we have a negative example. We actually use this word actually because it's called black, but it's actually not black. Okay, so if you need to look that word up, that's fine. But you can see that this is the positive example and this is the negative example. Present tense, singular be. Okay. Of course, if it's a plural noun, make sure you have present tense plural are. Okay. Like snakes are scary. Okay. So if I said snakes um, are scary, snakes is a plural a noun. So we need the plural verb. Okay. The next reason we use be is to describe the subjects with adjectives. So, for example, lions, tigers, and other big cats, so that's a plural. And here we have are dangerous. Okay, we see that. Also, it says lions are not the largest of the big cats. So here you see we have a plural and a plural again, and this is the plural negative form. And this is also present tense because it's giving information. Typically with giving information about things is we use the present tense. Okay, the next one is to describe the location of the subject. In this case, we use it with a preposition. So for example, the marine park is in, and then we know the location. And so we have this in preposition. Marine park is in the African nation of Gabon. And then, so that's the positive example. Then we have a negative example, positive singular, and here we have a negative plural. The Cape Verde Islands are not in the Indian Ocean. So here we see, remember the plural because it's island, so that means there's more than one. And then we have the word not to make it negative after the verb. And then the last reason we use be is to present an opinion. And this is the pattern that it follows. It plus be plus adjective plus infinitive. Remember, an adjective is a descriptive word. An infinitive is the word to, like this one, plus the base form of the verb. For example, to save. Another example, to practice. Okay, so if we read the whole sentences, it is to learn a new language, it is important to practice it every day. Okay, we actually have 2 infinitives here. Infinitives can be similar to gerunds. So like if we said learning a new language, we could make that the subject if we wanted to change that. Learning a new language is important, something like that. So you could remember we do have that as well. We could use the gerund as subject. That's not an example of this here. I wanted to remind you guys we could also use it that way. All right, so let me just read this example again. To learn a new language, it is important to practice it every day. Okay, so it is important to is our pattern. And, sorry, to practice. It is the it, is the be, adjective is important, and infinitive is to practice. And here we have the same pattern here. For many people, it is not easy to save money. Okay, in this case, we see that it's a negative, but we have that pattern. It plus be, which is the be form of the verb is, not is the negative, easy is the adjective, and then the infinitive to save. And then in this case, we needed extra information. Okay, so let's practice. So for this practice, you need to choose the correct form of the verb in the following sentences. Please note that sometimes the form is negative and sometimes it's positive. Okay, also be sure to write the plural version of be verb, which is are, if the noun is plural, okay? Um, and write the singular version of the be form if the noun is singular or non-count, okay? Here's our example. He blank tall, we would say, okay, is it? So we have to answer this question, is this singular or plural? And in this case, also pronoun, okay? So this is a pronoun. Remember, a pronoun takes the place of a noun, so pronoun or noun. Okay, and we have to know if it's singular or plural. If it's singular, we should use is. If it's plural, we should use are. And since we know that this is singular, we say he is tall. Okay, now for the very first example, exercise, question number one, or sentence actually. This is a trick question I gave some notes. So please read that note. Okay. Remember, sports are usually singular. Okay. So we have gymnastics, soccer, etc. Okay. So that's what you have to do, and you have to ask yourself, um, is this singular or plural? And some of them are tricky. So just to give you a warning, number 5 is tricky because you really have to look at what you are talking about, right? The main verb. And I already said number 1 is tricky. So please read the notes. Okay, so please, you can either highlight or underline the correct word. Okay, and thank you. That's it for this lesson. Bye. Thanks for learning with me.